want to talk to you guys here about something awesome, which is the new improved version of our Beatbox. We're calling this the Beatbox Blackbird edition. Blackbird because this is an ARC Audio Blackbird amp. The Blackbird amp is really the centerpiece of this new improved Beatbox experience. It's an 8-channel, 1,000 watt DSP amp. It's been tuned by two of the best ears in the industry for this, specifically to sound great in sprinters. We include all parts you need for an easy install. You get your door speakers, you get new tweeters, you get these awesome injection molded speaker adapter rings that are custom for these speakers and for sprinters. They're very stiff to hold the speakers well. Then you get a full harness set. You get power wires that are fully terminated with ferrules on the side that goes into the amp, so you don't have any strands going anywhere or any loose connections. You have a new set of harnesses that goes to your speakers in the door and pulls audio from the Mercedes system. They're labeled driver and passenger. And then this harness right here is really the center that brings everything together. Everything is pre-terminated to plug into the amplifier. There's no wires you have to cut, strip, crimp, no screw terminals that you have to put wires into and tighten. Everything is pre-terminated. It has a wire for the amplifier adjuster knob built into it. And this adjusts your subwoofer output so that you can have very little bass or a ton of bass if you're somebody that wants a lot of bass. Beyond the tuning of this amplifier, which allows us to have the audio centered at the driver and made to sound like the audio is directly in front of the driver, this amplifier also allows us to have some other channels that can do some cool things. We have an output channel set that you can use for rear speakers or outdoor speakers when you're camping. And this amplifier has 4 different modes in it. So there can be indoor modes, outdoor modes. There can be modes that use Mercedes input or modes that use a Bluetooth receiver that you add. For any of the extra features like powering it from the house batteries or adding a Bluetooth receiver or rear outdoor portable speakers, those will be a little bit of extra work from your installer or you. That won't be something that we kit and have as a plug-and-play solution. We unfortunately can't have that as a kitted plug-and-play solution because every van is a little different in, where is the house power system and what type of battery system is it, or where does somebody want speakers? What speakers do they want to use? Do they want them on the outside of the van, or do they want maybe waterproof speakers that are permanently mounted to the roof of their van? Or will they want a portable set of speakers? So what we will have is some guidance for people that tells them, generally, here's how you can do those things, and here's how the multiple different modes of the Beatbox can be enabled. So for example, the default mode is to use the Mercedes inputs and only use front speakers and a subwoofer. There's other modes that will use the Mercedes input and add 2 extra channels, which could be rear speakers or outdoor speakers. There's another mode which is Bluetooth input and uses just the front speakers. So all these different modes are pre-programmed into the amplifier, and they're user selectable based on wires that you plug into 12 volts on this harness. There's a lot of flexibility once you have this base system to add a lot of really awesome features. There's some really cool features to talk about here, why this is a very unique harness and why our R&D that we've done on the van is so important. Kind of notice a bulge in the harness right here. And that bulge is actually a circuit board that's built into the harness. That circuit board has resistors. There's resistors in there because the Mercedes OEM stereo and amplifier like to see load like they're attached to something. If they don't see load and they're not attached to something, it really does not sound great. So what we've learned is certain vans like load, certain vans don't need load, and it depends on how the stock head unit was assembled, the stock amplifier. So when we add these load resistors in this circuit board here, it actually fools the Mercedes stereo into believing that it's attached to something so that the audio output from the Beatbox sounds better. If you have bad audio input, no amplifier in the world can make that sound better. So the most important thing that you have for audio quality is good audio input into the amplifier. Since we can't change the Mercedes stereo or amplifier, we have to do whatever tricks we can to make it as good as possible. And the resistors are one of those tricks. Another thing that we've done on this harness is we've added this connector right here is a connector for external speakers or rear speakers. So this is the additional channels that can be enabled in the amp. This is another resistor pack right there. And we add that so that if you accidentally enable the rear speaker channels without something connected, you don't damage the amplifier. The difference in audio quality between the 10-inch version and this is noticeable, but it's not huge. So if you have the 10-inch version of the Beatbox and you're bummed that this new improved one came out, I wouldn't necessarily run to change it immediately, but if you hear one and you like it, it can be upgraded. There's definitely an improvement, especially with the ability to have the native Bluetooth input and rear speakers, outdoor speakers. It's a very flexible channel set that you can use for kind of whatever you want.